When are you going to do Johnny Sins Natty or not? I don't actually know Johnny Sins that well. I've never met him. Coach Greg, and welcome to another edition of the Q&A, where I'm here with the Dave, who's probably just gonna lay there and sleep the whole time, possibly slither like a little slithery little snake. Not sure which one you're gonna do. Gonna answer your questions. Hopefully they're gonna be good answers. Hopefully they're gonna be good questions. Let's see what happens. Kaylo Lee, when you get Q&A questions here, do you like them on separate comments or not? It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
The Thenator, how do you go about training when you're feeling ill? Now, frankly, I'm actually gonna answer this different than I used to in the past. In the past, I would have said, you just go to the friggin' gym sick, and if you still feel shitty, then you come home. Now with the COVID, you stay home and keep your ass out of the gym because we don't know if it's a COVID and no one wants to get it. Frankly, I'm nervous to clear my freaking throat at the gym now. I'm not sick, I clear my throat, I scream a lot, and sick a bit, and I'm scared people are gonna look at me and be like, does that guy have the cold? What is he doing? He cleared his throat. So if you're sick, stay home, get your ass out of the gym. Maybe go for a walk, do something different, do some light cardio, okay? But stay out of the gym if you're sick. No one wants to get sick from you. Let's just behave, let's be nice, and consider other people that don't want to get sick. Fit with Bridget. Can you tell a woman's body fat percentage as well as men's? Well, not quite. Women's body fats are higher. It's distributed differently. I have less experience guessing women's body fat than men, so it is a little bit more challenging. It's easier to be accurate on a low number than on a high number. Just think, if a woman's average body fat is higher than a man's, then the numbers are going to be off by more. So, for example, if a healthy male is 15%, it's a lot easier for me to guess close to 15 and only be wrong by 1% versus a female who's healthy body fat at 25%, a lot more chance I might be off by 2 percentage points rather than just 1, okay? I might guess they're 27 and they're really 25. I might guess they're 23 and they're 25. Versus on a man, easier to be within 14 to 16% and be closer to 15. Does that make sense? I don't know if I explained it right. Whatever, hopefully it makes sense. Mark D says, what's the highest body fat percentage you personally would be okay with reaching, aesthetics and health considered? 15% is the highest I would ever let myself go to at this point. Above 15%, I wouldn't be okay with the visual in the mirror. I wouldn't feel I look as good as I want to, and I wouldn't be as healthy. It would not only affect my lifting, I wouldn't look as good, it would also affect my bike riding. I'd have to carry an additional 10 pounds. That's gonna slow me down. So for health and aesthetics, I wouldn't want to go above 15%, and I'm at about 9% now. And the leaner for me that I am, the better I feel that I look personally. Doesn't mean it's necessarily true. I've probably been brainwashed from doing so many bodybuilding competitions that I feel like a leaner body fat percentage is more important for me. It's being brainwashed for years. I've been told, hey, you have to look ripped and shredded, just like all you guys, y'all think you need to be shredded. But really, 15%, that's pretty freaking good. I want to further even answer this. What is the highest I could compete with? If I'm not under 5% body fat at a bodybuilding competition, I would feel like I let myself down. I wouldn't be good enough. Guest posing, that'd be a different story. I think I could guest pose anything under 10%, like right now. I could get up on stage and feel okay. I'd be like, hey guys, this is how I look in the off season. To me, that's pretty good. If I were 15%, now I would be like, nah, I'm disappointed. I'm not big enough to get away with being 15% as a guest poser. Unlike most IFBB pros who are in the open division, 15%, they're gonna be like 250, 300 pounds. They're just gonna walk out and look huge. I'm not huge, so I have to make up for that with being ripped. Okra, perhaps. When are you going to do Johnny Sins Natty or not? I'm not sure if I will. I probably will at some point. It's off the radar. So many things going on. I gotta stick with what I know. I don't actually know Johnny Sins that well. I've never met him. I don't know what to do. So to me, that's a lot of work to have to do that video. I don't have time for a lot of work right now. SprintFast asks, how much of a role does getting a pump play in muscle growth? Many pre-workouts advertise it as giving you a great pump. How important is that? Okay, well, I'm gonna answer this in two ways. The pre-workout part, giving you a pump, it's not actually important. You don't need a pre-workout that gives you a pump to grow muscle, okay? It's not gonna make a big difference. Cosmetically, yeah, it looks cool. I sometimes use a pre-workout with a pump product just for the look of it. When I'm on PDs, like taking Anavar, that gives you a huge pump, so you don't really need one. But when you're training natural, or maybe just on HRT, your pumps are not gonna be as tremendous, okay? So using a pump product give you that extra motivation looking in the mirror saying, wow, look at that vein popping out. So I like that. But is it in fact important to get a pump to grow muscle? Well, if you don't get a pump and you're just lifting really heavy weights, you can still build muscle even without the pump. But I do personally feel that you will build more muscle by keeping the reps higher in a range that's a higher time under tension, allowing for a greater pump. And the pump is going to give you a better workout. I'm not saying you should do 100 reps and just get a pump and chase the pump and don't rest between sets, but a pump is something that I do believe is going to help you to grow muscle. But it's not the actual pump itself that's doing it, but what you're doing that causes the pump. Does that make any sense? It's not the actual blood flow in the muscle that's like building the muscle. It's the fact that you're lifting for enough reps to give you the pump, the time under tension and so on, that's allowing that muscle to grow. Hopefully that answered. I know it's not the best answer, but I tried. Naveed asks, how to mentally deal with not being able to go to the gym due to some injury, especially when you didn't skip gym for 10 months straight. You go to the gym anyway, even though you're injured, is how you deal with it. Do you know how many times I've been injured? Do you think I just sit my ass at home and take the day off just because I'm injured? No, I'm not sitting at home for a month injured. How do I deal with it? I go and train what I can. Let's say I had a hip operation. Not saying I ever did that. No. I would go to the gym probably 2 days after the operation and start training my upper body and doing light weights. Let's say I broke my elbow and had it surgically reattached to tricep. Let's say that, not that it ever happened. I'd probably go to the gym the next day and ride a bicycle and train with my left arm and not use this arm. I probably would do that. Not saying I've ever had any surgeries, okay? So if you get injured, can you go to the gym and train something else? It's up to you now, isn't it? That's just what I would do. Yuki Hota, do we feel weak on a cut due to ghrelin, or is it a different hormone? I can overcome hunger more than feeling weak, so I want to minimize whatever causes lethargy. It's a great question. It's not ghrelin. Ghrelin is just making you hungry, making you starving all the time. And yes, I too can handle that. If you have strong enough willpower, you can fight through hunger. You can't fight through you feel like shit. That is just not having the adequate energy to do it. There's nothing you can do about that, okay? Just like I have narcolepsy, and when I get completely tired, I'm gonna fall asleep in 15 seconds. I can't just say, I choose to just be awake. I can friggin' pull my eyelids and I'm asleep. It's just, it doesn't work. When you're not eating enough, the body's shutting down. It has nothing to do with ghrelin or leptin. It's just, you have no energy to fuel your workout. When your car is running out of gas, you can't just say, oh, I'm just gonna keep the car going by willing it forward. It needs freaking gas. You need to put gas in the tank or it doesn't go. If you don't eat enough, you don't have enough gas, you don't fuel your workouts, just like a car. The body is like a car, okay? And I bought a new car. Can't wait to freaking get it. Man, I can't wait. It's in the mail. Girlfriend makes fun of me because she says it's not being mailed, but it's being mailed in a shipping container of some sort. Can't wait to get this Mercedes. And no, I don't remember the name of it. Some kind of, it's got 636 horsepower and what is it called? GSS, oh wait. I bought a Mercedes AMG GT 63S 4-door. There you go. It's got a lot of power. Can't wait to get it. Chloe, what made you fall in love with and accept Allie just as she is? All the super fit people I know seem to see that as the most important quality in deciding to even date someone. Well, that's a fantastic question. What made me fall in love with Allie? And because, well, A, you're acting like she's not super fit, and I suppose you could say she's not really super fit, but she actually was pretty fit at one point. She just chooses not to do exercise. But I guess, how come? How do I answer this? That's a tough question on the spot. Well, how do I put up with it? Well, I know that the body is just the body, and it's what's on the inside that actually counts. Even though I obviously want to look good, I know that's what's on the inside matters more. So even though Allie could, in fact, look better if she exercised and trained and ate better, and then she would look better. It's not really the most important thing now, is it? What's on the inside is actually what counts. So what do I really love about her? I would say the fact that I can talk to her, be myself, that she understands me, that I cannot have to pretend to be something I'm not. I don't have to impress her being some weird version of myself that I'm not. I can act silly, I can act smart, I can act serious. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what you think.
We have a lot of things that we like doing that we have in common. We like dancing, we like relaxing in the hot tub, we like watching TV together, we like shopping together. We just get along in that sense. It's just easy. So I don't know, I guess that is why. Hope that answered the question. That's tough on the spot. Imagine answering that on the spot without planning. It's a hard answer. It's like saying, what would you write in your obituary? Not that dating Allie is like death. Not that dating Allie is like dying, but like imagine writing your own obituary. What would you write on the spot? It's a tough one. Nicholas asks, is it possible to gain the same amount of muscle in a slight calorie deficit, yet still having sufficient protein intake as one would in a calorie surplus? Yes, it is possible if you're in fact already obese. If you're already overweight and you're in a slight calorie deficit, it's not going to hurt your muscle growth at all. It in fact could help it. Being in a slight calorie surplus when you're morbidly obese might actually hurt your ability to grow muscle. 600 pounds and you're in a surplus. Do you think that's really helping you grow more muscle? Or maybe you'd grow muscle on a lower calorie diet where you're actually losing weight. So in some cases, absolutely in a deficit could actually grow more muscle than being in a surplus. What about if you're lighter? Well, if you're already lean and you're trying to go in a deficit, you're not going to grow as much muscle as if you're in a surplus. But for the average person's maybe average weight or obese, slightly overweight, it's not going to make much difference, but a slight deficit, if it's very slight, is not going to hurt your growth, okay? So if you're worried about not building muscle because you're in a slight deficit, just don't. Unless you're already shredded. If you're like as lean as I am right now, probably not a good idea to go in a slight deficit. But if you're a normal human being, like 15%, 20%, a normal body fat percent of man, 25, 30, 35, whatever for a woman, don't worry about it. Small deficit, not going to hurt your gains. David Lude. If you were benching 232 pounds by 13 years old, why is it that you never benched well over 600? What was your body weight when you benched this whooping 232 pounds? Whooping cream. Whooping cream. A whooping 232 pounds. You had such a strong bench at a young age. What do you think, I have a weak bench now? What do you think, I'm some shitty bench presser? Oh, I only broke the world record in the bench press. Oh, I never did anything. I was only good at 13, then I sucked. What kind of comment is this? You had such a strong bench at a young age and barely doubled it over many years of training. How is that? What kind of math did you go to school for? 232 times 2 is 464. Barely doubled it. 529 pounds with a pause in competition, 13 days after injuring my shoulder after doing several cortisone shots, hardly being able to walk, walking in bench 529 with a pause, not training my bench for 13 days before. I was probably going to bench 550 had I not injured myself. 529, oh, that sucks with a pause. Only the world record, no big deal. Why didn't I bench well over 600? Because I'm not freaking Larry Wheels. Oh, and how much did I weigh? I was in the upper 120s, around 128 pounds, 130. It was pretty good. I doubled my first body weight bench press. I think I was in grade 11. It was at Christmas time or something. I'd done 292 and I weighed like 143 or whatever pounds, somewhere around there. I was doubling my body weight in high school. Is that not impressive? Because, oh, if you lifted that much at 13, why didn't you do even more at 19? I also got in a bike accident, blew up my shoulder, had a sling. They were going to do surgery to put it together. It's an inch down. It wasn't even connected. So I had to stop training for a long time. I was only doing this with my left arm. I was actually in grade 10 gym class doing track and field, left arm, shot put, discus, javelin. I played badminton with my left hand and ping pong because I was a very active kid. I didn't give up. I ran with a sling. I actually walked quickly and I still ran a 5-something mile under 6 minutes in a sling, injured after being in a freaking dramatic bike accident. I just did the best I could. It still freaking hurts and clicks and it's a nightmare right now, but I still get through it. I don't give up. I just go freaking harder than last time. And Adib had enough of this. He got out of the way, but I'm joined by the Lexdom. And we're ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette, IB Pro. Blooping up 2 videos. And until next time, I am out. Girls Kitten, Adib, Lexmom, Zora, and Lou Bird. Boyskitten. Gutsta. We're just one baby Nikki short, apparently.